Have you ever learned another scale, another mode, another arpeggio, and somehow felt less creative afterwards? Well, you're not crazy. In fact, I think that's exactly what should happen. Because before you become fluent, there's a stage where everything gets more confusing and a little bit more complicated, a little bit overwhelming, and almost every guitarist mistakes that confusion, that overwhelm, for failure. So let me explain and get you playing better guitar solos right away. At the end of this video, if you don't know, my name is Ryan Gahn. I've been helping guitar players for 20 years, really bridge the gap between the creative ideas and what they're able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent. If you would, hit the subscribe and bell notification to get more videos on how to make your guitar playing better. All right, when you're new, you hear a solo by your favorite guitar player and you think it sounds magical. Impossible, right? Like they're doing something incredibly complicated. So naturally, you think, when you start learning, I need to learn more theory. You're not wrong. But thinking that if I just learn the theory, I'll eventually be able to do that. And that's where the trap begins. We're not worried about the theory. We're worried about the emotion. Think about that. We love the emotion that those guitar players and those guitar solos give us. And that's what we want to convey on our guitar. Okay, no one's really thinking, oh, that sounds nice. That's Dorian. We're just thinking of the emotion. So in that beginner stage, right, the theory starts to work. Learning your intervals, chord tones, major scale, pentatonic, caged, right? Now you go back and you listen to that exact same solo again, and suddenly you start realizing, like, wait a minute, they're just bending to the major third, you know what I mean? Or, you know, he's just playing that really nice 9 to the, to the root note. Or someone just outlining the chord. Literally just 3 or 4 or 5 notes. It wasn't nearly as complicated as you thought. It was actually just beautifully simple. You just could not hear that yet. One of my favorite examples is just this little November rain, you know? Nice, easy, right? It sort of like pulls you in. It's really melodic. It's really sing-alongable, and it's really beautiful. And you're looking at it like, ooh, I don't know what he's doing. This is really, really cool, right? It's got this nice push-pull to it. And then you just notice, there's an F chord. So he's playing the root note. He's bending the 2 up to the 3. Okay. And then do it a little lower, back up again, and then hitting that 5. And then brings it down and does it again. Oh, that's not really that complicated once I know the theory behind it, right? And then landing on this, which would be the 7 if I'm on that F, that 7 bends up to the root note down to that 7 because then he goes to a C, you know? And that is the chord tone for the C. Oh, all right. Now I get it. Now it makes sense and it starts to solidify as a linguistic piece, a linguistic phrase. You know why he's doing it, and you know why he's making those particular bends, bending the way that he is, and the rhythm that is going into it. So the theory helped you get there, and then it helped you sort of uncover the artistic choices that Slash is making. So when we're just focused on this like theory, I need to know more, the trap, instead of hearing those artistic choices, those nice melodic choices, and what Slash is doing in that particular example, we're thinking like, what's the scale, what's another mode, what's another arpeggio, what's another interval, another triad, should I do a chromatic approach, oh my god, right? And then we're completely out of the music. And we're playing with feel at that point, right? And every solo starts to become a math problem. And you've gained knowledge, but completely lost the freedom. So missing step really is, in my course, what I teach is, telling people learning theory is not the finish line. It's the beginning, right? The process is information, theory, confusion, all right, organization, and then expression, right? And most guitar players quit in the point of confusion, or they get stuck in the point of confusion because they think, if I'm more confused than I was before, I must be getting worse. I'm not good at this, right? I'm not seeing this sort of end goal and how all of this works together. And that's not the case. We really need to make sure that we're learning, going through that confusing process, and then we need to take a step back to where we can be creative, because we can only be creative where we are comfortable. Once the theory starts being the roadmap to creativity and not the be-all end-all, that is where it really, really changes. I play this blues, all right? I'm going to play something that is just going to be very mathematical and theory heavy, and it's not going to sound that good. And then I'm going to play something that is much simpler. I'm taking a step back out of the overwhelm, and it's going to sound much, much better. I don't know, it's not really going anywhere. You know, if I switch, just go back to the pentatonic. I'm going to do a flat 6 to a 6 here for the 4. Add that 2 in. That's it. Now I got my 4 chord. Go back to this. Pulling elements from that past there, I can even do that half diminished run. So taking a step back from that overwhelm made the solo sound a lot better. Whether you like the example or not, it certainly was better than just sort of noodling around trying to find the right arpeggio, you know, and you know, the right, you know, oh, this is going to be really cool, you know, half diminished run or whatever that theory is. So I think, you know, to really wrap all this up, theory didn't make you less creative. It simply showed you how much language there still is left to learn. The goal was never to just collect more information. The goal was to organize it well, that eventually you stop thinking about it and start being fluent in it and creating music. I have a free training if you want to check it out, where I go through this, just dealing with the minor pentatonic, the early stages of fretboard fluency. That free training is in the description and in the first comment if you want to check that out. I would love that. Thank you so much for staying till the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one.